Yeah, okay, the Gentry Podcast. I know that you will be loving it. We here to break it down so that you start to understand your local government. Who are the leaders? Time to get active, do something about it. Dealing with jobs, the workforce, and affordable housing. Motivate and inspire. Elevate, take it higher. For the next generation, knowledge is power for your community. Giving you the info that you really need. Time to make a change and a difference. Tune in, don't miss it. It's the Gentry. The Jentry Podcast. The Jentry Podcast. Making a change, switching it up.
Hello, and welcome to the Jentry Podcast. Today, we have an incredible guest. We have Mayor Kat Miller. Obviously, she is the mayor of Struthers, Ohio, but she is more than that. She is a wife, a mother of two. She is descended from a World War II veteran, but more importantly, she is also a lifelong, and I mean lifelong, resident of Struthers. So let's jump right into it, Kat. What is the secret sauce, and what makes Struthers, why did you stay there forever, and what makes it the best place to live in America?
So for me and for everybody here, I think the secret sauce, if you will, is the people. And I'm sure that you get that a lot, but our people are a lot different from most cities and most towns. A lot of them are lifers like I am. A lot of people that go away to college, they come back here, especially when they want to raise a family. This is the place you want to be. I have a different situation where my parents both passed away. And my dad in 2012, my mom in 2019, right after I won the general election. And this town, these people protect me. They have wrapped their arms around me. When we were campaigning and we were at the polls, I basically had a tailgate party. We had breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and there was probably 50 to 60 women who were campaigning at one of the locations for me. They protect me like I'm their child. I'm very big into Rotary, and all the Rotarians, I've been with them since I was little, since I was a sophomore in high school. And anywhere you go here, you just feel like family. Now that's good and bad because everybody knows everybody's business. But when somebody needs something, there's no other town you want to be in. If there's someone in need, everybody comes running. And we fight like brothers and sisters fight, like normal people. But if you ever need anything, this is where you come. You come to Struthers.
First and foremost, sorry for your loss, both your parents. I lost my father when I was 17. I'm blessed to still have my mother, so my heart goes out to you. And also, I love a community that you said so eloquently wraps their arms around you. For our viewers, before we jump into your background, I just want to just give them a sense of Struthers. What's the size, the makeup? Give us just like a little more about the actual community.
So we are a little bit over 10,000 people, typically an older community, but we do have a lot of families here. A lot of our children are very involved in the schools. So whether it's sports, whether it's the band, no matter what it is, our kids are usually involved in something or other. Like I said, everybody knows everybody here. Everybody's one big family. We have a great business. Economic development is doing a lot better. We have a little district on Youngstown Poland Road, which runs right through Struthers. We have a river that runs through our downtown that we've been spending a lot of time and years since I've been in office. I'm trying to uncover the river because it's kind of hidden, but it's something that these other cities around us don't have. So we're trying to focus on that and really bring our downtown to life and just make the quality of living a lot better here.
And I love that. And I definitely want to double click on that in a second just to get what the strategic goals are for Struthers. But I always say you learn a lot about a community by learning about their leaders. So I'd love to, if you can just take me back, growing up in Struthers, what was it like? And was this something that you always saw? Did you know you wanted to run for mayor one day? I'm always curious to hear how leaders get there.
Yes. So I'll tell you a little bit about my dad and my upbringing. So my dad was born and raised in Italy, came here and went to St. Nick's, and they wrapped their arms around my dad. They taught him how to speak English. They made him part of this community and part of the families here. He bled red and black. If you knew my dad, you know, Italian people are loud and crazy, and my father was loud and crazy. So there wasn't a lot of people in the city that didn't know him or that he didn't know. He worked at General Motors here for his whole life. So he was familiar with a lot of people in the area. He was very well respected and very well loved. And I was the firstborn daughter, tomboy growing up. That's his jersey right behind me. He stole it when he graduated. So that's something that I wanted right behind me. So when people walk in this door, they know that I have the protection of that guy right behind me. And then a little bit up from that, if you see, there's a picture of my mother. That was after I won the primary election, and she was going through cancer treatments at the time, chemo, and she showed up to the party, and I wasn't expecting her to be there. So she's kind of right there behind me. But I was brought up with a sense of community, a sense of family, making everybody feel like they belonged. I was taught to be a leader at a very young age. I was class president, and I was one of those people that, and still am, I didn't have a specific group that I fit into. So I was friends with everybody. Still to this day, everybody makes fun of me, all my classmates, because I could probably tell you where 167 that graduated in our class, and I could probably tell you where 164 of them are right now. And I probably have all of their phone numbers in my phone. I grew up trying to make everybody feel a part of everything and trying to make them feel like they belonged. But that came from my upbringing. And it also comes from the people who are around me, the people that surround me. But one of the questions you said, did I know that I wanted to be mayor at a young age? So I'm going to move around a little bit and show you when I was in high school. Like I said, I was really involved in every activity you could possibly be involved in. And we have what's called Civics Day. So we would go and job shadow people. And this is a picture of me when I was in high school, and that is the former Mayor Mamula. And that's one of the times I told him I was going to be the mayor. And
Wow.
then this is Mayor Stalker, who was the mayor right before me. I also told him I was going to be mayor, and my friends in high school, they made fun of me all the time because I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I would get it some way. But I was in the prosecutor's office for 6 years before coming here, so I knew that eventually I would make my way here. I went to Capital University, so I did leave Struthers for a little time period to play basketball because I'm a hooper. So I went there, graduated with a degree in psychology and art therapy, made my way back here, worked with adults and children with autism, started a little bit of grant writing in Pennsylvania, and then got asked to work in the prosecutor's office. For 6 years, I was there before running for mayor. So learned a lot more of the details and what went on in city government, and knew that it was my time. And Struthers was ready for a change. I wanted something a little different, and they showed up and showed out at the polls. That's for sure. We won the general election, or the primary election, against the 12-year councilman, 74% of the vote. And then when we went to the general election, I won 75% of the vote. So it was a big, big change, but Struthers wanted it. They wanted something.
That's wow. Let me
That's a
take a
lot.
couple.
Sorry.
No, that's what I love. First and foremost, I just want to say I'll do my show and tell. I always wear my pink bracelet for my mother, who had breast cancer, went through chemo. So I can only imagine how much it meant to you to have your mother there when you won that primary. And I'm tip my hat to her for making it. I know what that can do to the body. So thank you to her. And wow, I don't get that too often. That very much felt like the Babe Ruth to center field and called his shot. Wow. So you knew from a young age, and not even knew it internally, were telling people that you would be the mayor one day. So before I go any steps further, because I definitely want to get just what in your career, what at that early stage, you said you have the civics day, in which you job shadow. Was that what was the impetus for you to know that you wanted to push forward to be mayor?
That wasn't it. That was just part of another day in school. For me, it was more my dad and just the pride that I had for the city and the changes that I knew when I was little. I knew I was going to be here. It's just something we kind of spoke into existence. We didn't know when it was going to happen. I didn't necessarily think it was going to be that early, but the time it presented itself and we kind of jumped on it. And like I said, I have the best support system that anybody could ever imagine. My sister, my family, my husband, my kids, my neighbors, my friends, you name it, they have stood behind me, and they make fun of me from time to time because this is just what I love to do. And it sounds, I don't want to sound too mushy or poetic or anything like that, but everybody has a job that there's days where you're like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself? Pay isn't that great. The headaches you have to deal with isn't that great. But 90% of the time that I'm here and I'm in this position and I'm in this office, I know I'm exactly where I need to be in life. And that feeling, going through ups and downs and arguments and hearing bad things and stuff from different people who email and call and complain. It's those days where I know this is where I'm supposed to be in life. I've had a lot of people come to me that want me to run for higher office and do other things, and I can't pass up the feeling that I have when we're watching things happen and we're watching people change and we're watching businesses change and things just take over. I can't, I don't want to sound, I'm going to sound mushy and like I was meant to be here, but I really truly feel like I'm meant to be here.
I feel it, and I think when you have a calling on your life and you're living out that calling, it should feel like that. Obviously, like you said, every job is gonna have 5% where it's just like, wow, this may be a lot for what I'm receiving in return, but the general sentiment is you're doing what you're meant to be doing, and kind of just taking a step forward. What are the focuses, or have you guys gone through a strategic planning session since you've come into office? Have you done a new comprehensive plan? Where are you guys at with that process?
So we work very well with this group called KO Consulting. Her name's Kristen Olney and Josh Press. They all work together and they help go after grants and different things for us. And early on, we knew we wanted to work with her and her company because they thought outside the box and they would see something instead of being kind of reactive to different grants, they were more proactive. So we were able to talk with our city council and we did the city's first ever comprehensive plan, which was huge because it's hard to explain to a group of people, hey, we're going to pay all this money for this stack of paper. They're like, why is it that much? But it was. We feel like we have one of the best comprehensive plans in the area. We asked the people what they wanted to see and what would attract them. We went to the schools. Our superintendent, our school system, they're incredible. They let us meet with at the time, the freshman, sophomore, junior, senior class and say, what is it that you guys want to see? So we got a youth input. We met with older adults. We met with the different areas of town. We have the north side, Nebo. So we really, our comprehensive plan, it's not just what I want or what I think or what our city council thinks or what our administration, it's what our people say that they want. And it's been, one of the things was a dog park. I mean, you wouldn't think a dog park, but now we have a dog park. We had a group of citizens who raised enough money and started the dog park. The other thing is a community center, somewhere for our kids to go or even our older adults to go. That was the other big thing. And we have a plot of land that we're working on, but they had a lot of good ideas that we are trying to bring to fruition. But having that comprehensive plan as like a baseline, we're able to use that plan and apply for different grants and go that way. So that's been a huge, kind of like a stepping stone for us. And it was a huge monumental thing with council and the administration to come together and say, we need to have some type of plan. When I talk to all these other cities, they're working on the comprehensive plan for like year 2050. I'm like, yeah, we've never had one. So that was really, the comprehensive plan has been really huge for us. And we have all kind of other plans too, but now council understands that we need these plans in order to get more money, and we use them to our best advantage.
110%. And what are some of the main strategic priorities within the new comprehensive plan?
So one of the main ones is uncovering that river. So it literally runs through our downtown. We just got a grant through the Ohio Department of Development for an Appalachian Regional grant for a little over $1 million. So we're in the middle of turning literally a plot of land that had some trees on it that was useless. And we're turning that into like a riverfront. It's a small park, but it'll be a little park for kayak launching. So that's something we're really excited about because that's something I was able to show my kids. Like, remember when all these trees were here? And we're going to have a bathroom, we're going to have a pavilion, it's going to be a reason not just to drive through downtown, but to actually get out of the car and do something. So it'll be a destination point for people to come to. So that was our main thing, if I could say, is uncovering that river, working with our businesses, making sure our city is more walkable and bikeable. That has been huge because we got a lot of money from ODOT for different plans, and we were able to use our comprehensive plan to apply for some safer routes to school, which we had a huge project on 5th Street. We applied for it, but we can only apply for up to 500. So they were going to give us a fourth of the plan. And then we went back with our consultants and said, yeah, but if we get this all done, then we don't have to keep reapplying every year and it'll be complete. So they ended up giving us over $2 million to complete the entire project. So ODOT has been very, very instrumental in a lot of what's going on. But we have the plans and we have the active transportation plan. We have all these things that we can use to apply. Those it seems like we're moving slow, but it's not. We have to plan, prepare, do all that stuff, and then apply. Then you wait for the money, and then it happens. So a lot of the things that we've been working on for years and years and years are now happening now.
Sure. And it's not even linear at times. It feels like you plan, you put it together, you apply, you need something else, you need another document, and sometimes you're looking for rebates. It's never is easier. And I'm sure the people that have seen that process can appreciate the fact that it doesn't happen overnight. When you start to think of some, like you brought up local businesses, when you think of on the economic development side, are you guys more focused on retaining and growing local businesses, or are there certain industries that you'd be willing to try to bring into the community?
So both. We try to do as much as we can for businesses. There's little things that we do. The Youngstown Warren Chamber, they have these lunch and learns where a lot of business people go and they have lunch and they have 30 seconds to explain what their company does and where they're at, where they're located, and things like that. So as an elected official, I show up to these things and I'm like, hey, businesses, even though I'm not supposed to be here, if you're looking for a place that's business friendly, come to Struthers. Come to us. We have great communication. I know I said before I have everybody's cell phone number in my phone. I have everybody's cell phone number in my phone. If you ask any business in the city, I've probably talked to them a million times because we try to work with them. There's not a lot of overstep that we can have when it comes to government, but we can help. We can make it easier. We can make sure that we're available for communication, that if they need us for anything, if there's anything we could help with, that we do. One of the really cool things that we've been doing, we have a business spotlight video. So we work with a guy, he does all of these videos of his kids and different events that go on in the city. And we talked to him. We had an intern here from YSU and he came in and he said, Kat, people need to know what's going on. They need to know about all this stuff because unless they are listening to the council meetings or they're talking to me, there's a lot that they're unaware that there's so much going on. So we wanted to bring this to our businesses. So we go on Tuesday mornings and the businesses have to sign up, but we go and meet with different businesses and we film them for about a half hour, 45 minutes. So Ryan Goist, he's our Rotary president, he goes down a list of questions and we interview them on camera. So I'm not in the video, he's not in the video. And then he puts together like a 2-minute business spotlight video. And every other Tuesday we share a video. So that's been going really good. It's something that's growing, something that we like, but it highlights some businesses that people may not know about. And we get a lot of views. They sit down and watch the videos. A lot of people will comment and they'll say, oh, I never even knew this was here. So that's big businesses, little businesses, whoever calls and signs up. We are not opposed to, we want business in Struthers. Like I said, I will go out and sell our city the best I can. But we have Castle Industrial Park. We have a couple acres there that can be developed. We have Lake to River, which is through Jobs Ohio, that I go to everything. I try to make sure that Struthers, the name, the city is at every table so they don't forget about us. So a lot of times when I go to the meetings, it's the city of Youngstown, which is a bigger city around here, and the city of Warren, and then there's me. So people make fun of me. They're like, why do you even go to this stuff? I'm like, because I'm going to make sure everybody doesn't forget about the city of Struthers because we're smaller than them. But we want those businesses too. We want anybody that wants to be part of what we have going on here, a part of it. So we'll do anything we can.
Nice. And when you're bringing in businesses, do you guys ever leverage like incentives, or what are some of the things that you guys use to outside of staying in front of them, which I definitely can hear? Are there any other tools in the old tool belt that you use to bring businesses to Struthers?
So a lot of times that'll go through Lake to River. They have all the tools that they can use through our Western Reserve Port Authority and Valley Partners. We have a lot of county agencies that can help make all those pieces come together. We don't have a lot at the city of Struthers that we can offer. I know at one point, and we try to do it every time we have like a healthier budget, but we have a facade grant program that we try to work with. So we match $5,000. If they have a $10,000 project, we'll we'll do up to $5,000 match. So we were able to help 6 businesses. We haven't done it in a few years, but every time we go through the budget, that's something we hope we can do. So it's usually every couple of years we try to get that going. So we'll have people apply for that, and then we have a group that sits around and tries to see what would make the most impact. But this year, or 2 years ago, we were able to help 6 businesses. That's something we're always trying to do. City Council's been very good about allocating funds for that. So that's something we try to do. And I have people all the time, hey, is there anything going on for this? Or is there anything going on for that? And I can point them in the right direction. And I can tell them who they can call to get help with what they're looking for.
That's half the battle. Just knowing where to take that phone call is so important for established businesses, but also for growing businesses as well. And the rise of regionalism, that is one thing since I've got started creating the podcast. So much has been a push for regionalism. And I think that is going to be very helpful. It seems when, as one city, you can do a lot of things, but as a collective, and when you start to think countywide, you can effectuate more change for more people. So I'm really happy to hear that you guys are already at the forefront of that.
Uh-huh.
When you start to think of that next generation, of that the next cat that'll be next to you, and she'll be telling you that she's going to be the mayor in the future, how are you guys kind of reaching out to the next generation to make sure they're civically engaged, to make sure they have potentially opportunities to even work in local government now or in the future?
So I hope I'm here for another 100 years. So I hope that's not anytime soon. However, like I said, we work really well with the schools, with our superintendents, our principals. We have a government teacher. His name is Kevin Daly, who once a year, we started this a few years ago. We had a student, his name was Mike Muter. He came to us and said, hey, I just want to job shadow you. I want to go around just like you did with Mayor Mamula, and I want to learn more about what the city does. So 2 years ago, we started a program. Last year we had 13 individuals. This year I think we had 11. Even one of the neighboring schools had 2 kids, Camel. They sent 2 kids over. So we had in my office, we ran them around. I told them wear comfortable shoes because we're going all around the city. Our biggest push is to show the youth how many different entities you have to work with and you have to be a part of. For what you do in government, it's not going to matter. So in the beginning of the morning, we usually have a panel here. I have a former mayor here. I have someone from council. I had someone from a public utilities. I had someone representing the unions. I had a mayor from the neighboring city, and I let them talk to the kids about what they do and why it's so important that we conversate and that we're on the same page, because if you don't have one of the wheels working, everything's going to fall off. And then we run them around everywhere. This year we went to Eastgate Regional Council of Governments to show them how big of a part that they play with the city of Struthers. We've taken them to the Board of Elections to understand that process, and we're on a tight schedule, and I tell them we have till this minute, we have to get on the bus at this time. I drive the senior van around, so I take the kids everywhere we need to go. Then we usually head downtown to Donna Vito's. He's donated food for the kids, so they have it ready for us to eat, and then we cross the street and go have some of the best cake as Sela, and he talks to them about his business. He turned an old bank into a restaurant, and he's bought a couple of the other businesses downtown, so I really like them hearing from him because of the entrepreneur side of things. And just to see a building so dilapidated and what he turns it into is really beneficial for the kids when it comes to different entrepreneurial stuff. And then we come back here and kind of go over some of the plans and some of the things that are happening in the city. So that program, that's something we've been able to do 2 years in a row now. We hope we can continue that. We have Civics Day where the kids come and they meet with all of our elected officials, and we take them all over too. But the fact that we are so involved in the school system is huge. I substitute teach in the elementary school and the middle school. So that's huge. I have 2 kids, one that's going to be in freshman and one that's going to be in middle school. So a lot of the kids know how we are and know of me. And my husband coaches football for the high school, coaches basketball for the middle school, and is very involved. He's a deputy sheriff. He works for the Mahoning County Engineer's office. We don't take a breath ever. We're always on the move. So the kids are just part of our daily routine that everybody kind of knows what goes on here. But the cool thing is when I see the girls, my little son and I, we help intramurals with the girls at 3rd and 4th grade for 2 weeks. And seeing those girls and they're like, oh, she's the mayor. They get like so starstruck. And I'm like, no, it's just me. I grew up with your mom. Like it's nothing like that. And the kids they're so comfortable with me and they're so used to me being everywhere that it's a big deal. So it's a big deal to the parents when the kids are like, "Oh, that's Kat. That's just Kat." And they're like, "You know the mayor?" And they're like, "Yeah, she's in our school." Or, "Yeah, she's at our practice." It's very cool to see them. They'll draw turkeys. Like, "I want to be the mayor someday." They dress the turkey up as something else. I've had a mayor turkey that's been turned in here. So it's really cool. But I think having that partnership with the schools really, really is big on that.
For sure. And you kind of get to the heart of why I do a lot of what I do. I think sometimes people kind of just see the government as just this one homogenous block or like in an ivory tower somewhere. And that's why I want to make a megaphone so people can see that mayors are people. They have families, they have dreams and hopes. They were once children and wanted to be the mayor one day. So I think you are doing that in real time. I think that's super cool. Like my son came home one day, was like, "Oh, I know the mayor." I'm like, "Wow, interesting. How did that happen?" So I'm sure the parents get a kick out of that, and it just makes for a community that can engage with their elected officials. So I definitely tip my hat to you there. Now, I always say half of our viewership are in municipal government, and the other half is young people, and typically young people that are just learning. So, can you explain what is a mayor? And maybe talk about the form of government too, please.
Sure. So we are mayor strong. So I'm in charge of all of the city government. But I always tell people I have a lot of people only have one boss or two bosses. I have over 10,000 bosses. So I see my job as being a public servant. My job is to answer to the public. My job is to make sure everybody is safe and that the rest of the wheels of the government do what they're supposed to be doing. My job is to make sure everybody feels like they're part of the city, like they have this voice here. So when I get emails, when I get phone calls, I return my emails, I return my phone calls. I usually never say no to anything. If somebody calls and says, "Hey, can you do this?" Yes, I can do that, because I feel like that's part of my job, is getting out there and being the face of the city. But I also don't want to lose sight of my priorities either. So I tell everybody all the time, my first job in life is being a mom and a wife. That is my first job. Being a mayor comes second. That is my top priorities. So especially with women, there are roles that you have to be 10 things at the same time. But being mayor it's hard, but not as hard as being a mom, being a wife, and raising kids, and going through that aspect. But it's just making sure that you can manage a lot of people and different departments, and just being able to be, I don't want to say easy to talk to, but very approachable. We have an open door policy, and trying to make everybody feel like part of the team. So even growing up, that was my job. And I feel like that's kind of carried here. A lot of people think that my job is very political. I am terrible at the politics. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing. I am the same person all the time. You're never going to see me act different depending on who's in the room. And I think that has to happen. And that should be part of being the mayor, especially of Struthers, is just being yourself, being unique, and not having any guilt on your shoulders, and being able to go to sleep at night and knowing that everything was done ethically and morally, and staying true to that person. So that's a long way response for that. But
No, I think you first explaining strong there. I appreciate that, and then also letting people know that you have 10,000 bosses.
I do.
A great way to think about it and conceptualize for young people that would be interested. And then for those same young people, one thing that I see across the board is communities trying to make sure that they are truly cradle to grave. So, you maybe graduate from high school, trade school, community college, university, and then you want that first job. And then you potentially may have a small family and may need a townhouse or a small house. Then that family grows and you may need a larger house. To the other side of it, you're now retired and you may not need the house anymore, but you want to age in place. How do you think Struthers is faring, creating that cradle to grave community?
So better now. We only have a few daycare facilities in the area, and I know that it's sometimes hard to get into those. So we try to work with different agencies to help with childcare. The housing thing has been, we're kind of in a housing crisis in Ohio, and I keep going to seminar after seminar, webinar after webinar, but a lot of what other people and other places are talking about doesn't pertain to Struthers. We're kind of landlocked. So since 2021, we've been working with Youngstown Neighborhood Development Corporation and Ian Beniston, who I think is an absolute genius because he has so much figured out where everybody else is trying to pick up pieces and make it work. He already knows how to do it. We worked with him and they did a housing survey for us back in 21. And we work with the Mahoning County Land Bank, Deb Flora, who is another genius to me. There's a bunch of people I feel like I could say I stalk because they're just amazing. The knowledge they have and the expertise they have on different things. So I will follow their lead and see what they're doing and what works for them, but how to make that Struthers. So what we have is we had a lot of properties that have been demoed. So we've been stockpiling vacant land, and we just with city council about a month ago, we passed a CRA, which we are giving a 15-year tax abatement to any new builds. That has been huge. So we've had a lot of people that want to build now, and we want to try to attract families back to this area. So I have a lot of friends who have moved into other townships close by. Their kids still go to Struthers, but we don't have the houses for them to move into. As soon as something's listed for sale, it's gone within a day or two, and it's usually above asking price. So we are working with another company. We got a $2.75 million grant from the Ohio Department of Development for the Welcome Home Project. And we've been working with a developer, Stephen Davis, through Pantheon, who was one of the only developers we sat down with that got it. He understands we're a smaller city. We don't have a lot of finances that we can put into projects to make them happen. So he was able to help us apply through the state and receive that money. So they're going to be building 8 homes. So we're hoping that that's going to be a big kickoff for us. We work with Dylan's house, who's going to also be building a house. So we're basically saying we have this land. If you can put a house on it, we will give you the land. So we're trying to make it work as much as we can. But we also have an older population where mom and dad might not need that 2-story house. They might need a ranch. So we're trying to work with those two where we can find more suitable living, because we're not trying to kick out older people. We want them to stay too. We just need to find what fits the best. So we have a little bit of spot building going on in different areas, but we try to keep our people here and try to attract other families. I've had some phone calls that said that they moved in to this city because of what we're doing and all the progress we're making. And there's other towns that just seem to keep going the wrong direction. And we're always at the front line getting grant after grant after grant. And you could see the progress that's happening in our city. So we're trying to be more friendly as far as when they're young all the way to age in place.
Half the battle is being cognizant of it and learning about it and then trying things. And I heard all those things. You clearly know the issue, clearly researched and went to different, sounds like countless seminars, webinars, talked to smart people about it, and you're trying things. So I definitely think your community can appreciate that. It's not easy. I hear it so much. Like I talked to the economic development director of Salt Lake City recently, and she was just saying, she's like, daycare, we just don't have it. And we've tried different tactics to even get people to run daycares. And I've talked to landlocked counties like Lake County in Colorado. They don't have space, and they're trying to figure out whether it's EDUs to other strategies to make more area. So it's very difficult, but it seems like you guys are definitely trying to make it happen.
Yeah. And I have a lot of learning to do. And I tell people that all the time because I'll be the one that asks the stupid questions because there's so many different acronyms that they should have had a book when I came into office. Like, this is what this stands for. But there's so much that I don't understand and I have no problem asking. But if I don't know, I'll find the person that knows. And then I grill them until I understand what's going on. Because we even have a wastewater treatment plant. And when I tell you I started, I'm like, what? I'm like, this all goes on at this plant. I had so much to learn. And the amount of learning I did in 6 years, I know to rely on the people who are in charge of those departments.
We're similar in that, and that's why I talk to people like yourself. I think the smartest people ask the dumb questions, and I think the smartest people talk to smarter people and learn from them. So I definitely think we're akin in that. On that note, what are some initiatives you spoke to some of them, but one initiative or thing that's coming up that you're really excited about and it's going to be great for the community?
So I would say one of the most exciting things right now is the downtown. Right now, it looks like a mess, but we had so many buildings just sitting there empty for so long that nothing was happening. Now we're going through the phase where there's barrels everywhere and there's scaffolding everywhere and there's workers and there's tie-ups, and we have so many different projects going on at the same time. So that's something we're really excited about, is to being able to bring more people into our downtown and give them a reason to stop. I know one of the other things, and it's controversial, but we have marijuana business in downtown Struthers, and that passed through city council unanimously. I got more compliments and more phone calls thanking us for bringing them to this area. They have brought so much traffic to our downtown. They are so amazing to work with, the businesses. Our Caslow area, there's just so much going on in downtown right now that I feel like with other cities around, we're at the forefront, and we were able to kind of jump on and say, this is happening, we need to see how we can capitalize on it. And just recently, the state basically tried to take away the percentage of taxes that we were receiving for having a dispensary in our city. So you talked about the regional mindset. We had a trustee from Austintown, a mayor from Girard. We actually just had a call today. We all kind of got together and said, listen, they can't do this to us. We voted on this. This is what it should be. We had a press conference. Now you're talking Republicans, Democrats, everybody from both sides of the table coming together to say, this is what we want, this is what we voted for, and it worked. And now it's going to pass through the House and the Senate. So it kind of was an eye-opener for everybody around here that says, look at what we just did. Look, if we come together with the same mindset, we can really, there's a lot of damage we could do. And there's a lot of things that we can make happen if everybody kind of puts those political things to the side and just focuses on what is the best for the people in the area. So that just happened. We're excited about that. But there's so many different projects. I have plan after plan after plan that we can show you, but I know the on the river, the 1.18 million that we got from the state is really huge, and most of our projects are from grants and different things that we've got. We're going to get our first splash pad. We have traffic gardens coming. We've been getting grants, flock cameras. Our fire department, they're spoiled. They get every grant we apply for, they get. But we really try to think outside the box, and we use different companies to see what their best thing is. But we're just excited to see the changes. I know there's a lot of people that are excited about the dog park, and we were too. They formed their own, it was a citizen-led initiative through our comprehensive plan, and it's the most beautiful dog park around. We're really proud of that. Just different things. And we like getting the kids involved in different projects, and if they have ideas, if it's something that we can have them help to make it happen, that's really meaningful to us too.
That's so important, and I love the amount of things that you brought up as a great initiatives, and also the different types, like from the citizen or citizen to like the cleanup of downtown. Like they're all very to the bipartisanship, and that's something I truly believe in. If we all work together, listen, and cooperate, and we can get a lot done. So I love to hear about all those things. Now, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask. So I've heard a couple things, but I'm very curious if there is one challenge that if you could just snap your fingers and change, it would make the community better, or it may make your job better. And this is you with unlimited budget, and you just think it's the best thing that can be done.
I'd like to say at this point, there's nothing that I would change, because I feel like we're on the right path. I feel like we're in the right direction, and there's so much good going on. But with no budget, oh God, you got a couple more hours, because I could spend all of it right now. But one of the things that we've been talking about, we have a 28 acres right on the river, is really developing that property. Working with the EPA, we have a grant in right now. The problem with the property is there's no utilities there. So if I could get the utilities brought down there and get the community center rolling, the way the city wants, because that was one of the top things. So if I had no budget, that's what I would make happen. So if we hit the lottery or something, my husband's going to kill me, but that's what we're going to make happen, is that community center, because that's what the people want, somewhere to go to be with everybody else. We have kids that are practicing sometimes, like my son, 4th grade last year, practicing till 9 o'clock at night because we can't get into the gym because everybody's using the gym for different reasons. So just having different gym space and having different workout facilities. There's other surrounding towns that we feel are kind of step ahead of us because they have the facilities. And like I said, the school does a great job working with what we have, but if we could really give these kids and older adults and just residents in general something right down there on the river, that would be probably my top thing.
Love that, bringing the community together, and sports. I staring at the jersey behind you. Sports mean so much. Sports tie people to communities. They bring people to communities through sports tourism. So bringing the community together on sports, I definitely can see, and development, so redevelopment and bringing you to these. I think that's a great challenge that you could change with a limited budget. Now, I have to ask: is there anything else that you want to leave with the people?
I don't know. We covered a lot.
We did.
I don't know. I would like to point out there is something special. We just had American Bloom here last week we had an advisor that gave us kind of like a overall what they think of the city and how we can improve different ways for beautification. And I've been part of Rotary, like I said, since I was a sophomore in high school. But the Rotary does so much for our city. They donate to everything. They do all kind of fundraisers, but they are really involved in a lot of I don't want to say little projects around the city, but taking the advisor through last week and saying, oh, this is a Rotary project. This is a Rotary project. This is a Rotary project. I don't think I put enough emphasis on that. And the other thing I want to put some emphasis on is my husband. I don't know how he deals with me in this job. That's something that I'm very thankful for him, because he allows me to lose my mind when I need to and vent to, and he's always there to say, well, tomorrow you're going to call me and say, this is where I'm supposed to be, even though today I'm crying or something like that. So I know I hit on it a couple of times, but the support system I have is really what makes me live.
I think that's great to end on. So for all the young potential mayor candidates 100 years from now, it sounds like you need to have a great support system. You need to be wrapped around their arms around you from a community that truly cares. And it needs to be a calling. It needs to be something that you truly love, you truly believe in. And when you are having those down days, it's because you're doing something that you're meant to do. And I think that's a great message, not just for the municipal government leaders that listen, but also the young people that listen. So Kat, on behalf of the Gentry Podcast, I'd like to thank you for being here. Your passion bleeds through, and I do truly feel like you have a calling, and you're living out that calling, and that is always so inspiring. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks for the invite.
My pleasure. And again, to our viewers, it's the Gentry Podcast, and we will see you next time. And thank you again for being here. Have a great one.